This is going to sound like so much hate, and I swear it's not.
Welcome to the Warner Brothas Podcast. My name is Keenan, joined by my brother Kyle, joined by Timmy, joined by Brandon. It's been a music preset, but we're getting into some football today. But guys, how are we doing today, first and foremost?
Living the dream one day at a time.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Doing well.
I put my pants on one leg at a time like everybody else. That's what I got. Yeah. All right. So obviously we're waiting for the NFL season to start. We've got some preseason football going on, but everybody's in the football mindset, football vibes. And so Kyle had the idea of getting a 12-pack of questions out there. So we're going to just propose some questions before the season. We're going to start. Timmy, you're going to start. Propose us a question here, buddy. We're just going to talk some football with the friends. Football with the bros.
So I was saying pre-show that one of my questions is really just, or two of my questions are one question, just reverse. So we'll just start with those. Who do you guys think, if you guys could pick a team, and I can go first to give you some time to think, teams that will be the biggest risers this year, who will go from potentially worst in their division to the best in their division? So if you want me to talk, I can talk.
I got it because I've been saying it for a while. We know who I'm saying, guys. It's a hometown team. The New England Patriots will be the biggest risers. You've got one of the best coaches in the NFL coming in on the roster. I love their draft. You get Kyle Williams. You get Travion Henderson. Boys, we see that opening kickoff. We haven't had that kind of punch in a while.
You haven't even mentioned their first-round pick.
I don't need to. I don't even need to mention Will Campbell yet. We know he's been blocking very well.
People, yeah.
He's been demolishing people in practice. I mean, that's not always saying too much because we don't have the greatest of pass rushers, but still, it was a well-coached, always well-run defense over there. So the Patriots are in a position too where they have a pretty easy start to the schedule. I think they see Carolina. I think they see Vegas as well within the first couple. I think they see the Saints as well this year. So the Patriots are in a situation where I think 10 wins is easily on the board. The playoffs are easily on the board for them, and I do think that they're going to make the biggest jump, or one of the biggest jumps. So I think they're most likely and most poised to do so. Shout out.
Yeah.
Oh, we know where Brandon's going.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle, I'll let you go, and then we'll let Brandon talk about his team, wax poetically about his town.
I was actually going to say the Jags as well, if that's where Brandon's going. I don't know if they're going to be a playoff team, but I expect them to just be base level, which in the AFC South is already like playoff contention. So, I don't know if my expectations are necessarily high for the Jaguars, but they're the first team that comes out with their offensive talent, with Trevor Lawrence, with their new head coach. They got some young talent on the defense. I don't know. You could get to 7 games in that division, and you're already fighting for something. I'm sure we'll talk about the Texans plenty, whether it's this episode or next week. But, the Texans, though they have everything, they had everything last year, and that season was still a little bumpy. They got rid of Bobby Slowick, so maybe that'll help them out a little bit. But, the Jaguars are a team. They were in last place last year, so they'll have an easier schedule on top of their own division. So they can stack wins early, and, before you know it, you got 6 or 7 wins early, you're in a good position. As far as the Pats goes, I know they're my team. I'm not as optimistic as one would think about the Pats. I'm not pessimistic either. I'm kind of in wait-and-see mode with the Pats. As far as Drake May goes, I'm considering this his rookie season, essentially, after, having Gerard Mayo last year, much like Trevor Lawrence in his rookie year with Urban Meyer. That's how I look at Gerard Mayo and Drake May last year.
How many games wasn't at the club grind on some women?
Right. Yeah. Gerard Mayo behaved himself. Hey, how many games did he start in total? Was it 9 games?
I think around 9, because he went out for a few games. He didn't start the first 3 or 4 games, and then he got the concussion, so he was out for a few. I can check real quick. Just give me a moment.
I think it was. I'm assuming between 6 and 9. So
yeah.
The Pats are very much wait and see for me, especially when you got the Bills there. Especially when, like, we've talked about the Dolphins. I know the Dolphins are on suicide watch, but I still think there's enough talent there to where they can win early, especially with their schedule. I think we talked about that last time. So, yeah, Pats are wait and see for me, but the Jags, I could see them turning things around very quickly given their schedule. And I believe the AFC South plays the NFC South. Is that true? Or am I wrong there? Or does the AFC? No, the AFC. If the Pats.
No, we played the NFC South. They play the NFC West. So they see San Fran, 49ers.
That's a little tough.
Yeah,
that's a little tough.
Their start to the season is actually incredibly rough. But the end of the season's like, I'm going to quickly read this off. They play Carolina, Cincinnati, then it's Houston, San Fran, Kansas City, Seattle, Los Angeles. But then after the bye, things lighten up extremely for the Jags. So if they can get through that first stretch, then it's going to be nice. And just to clarify, Drake May played technically in 13 games, really only played in 10, really started 10 because he played a couple series in the last week of the season. He got obviously concussed against the Jets, and then he threw like one pass against the Buffalo Bills in a route towards in the beginning of the season. So not a route, but action. Or towards the last game of the season, he threw one pass.
Not for nothing, I don't think the Jets will be as bad as the the preseason predictions show. I think the Jets will be a tough out this year. I don't want to say too much because I got team-based questions coming at us too. Mm-hmm. So,
okay, absolutely. And Brandon,
yeah, it's the Jags. Like I don't. So, but with my expectations are kind of tempered just a little bit. Like I think 9-8, maybe 10-7 is kind of like the range that I'm thinking. I think if they start out in those first 7 games, I think if they start out 3-4, like I think we've got a good shot. Like 3-4, 4-3. Like I mean, because then we've got Vegas, we've got Houston, the Chargers, the Cardinals, the Titans, Indy. Like we play Tennessee and Indy 4 times, and the Jets.
That December schedule, like if you're counting the Tennessee game, when you go Tennessee, Indy, Jets, Denver, which is tough, but then Indy and Tennessee again, that you could easily, if you guys get to the playoffs, you could easily get there on a 5-1 stretch, and that could be nice being rolling, like an 11-6, 10-7 team rolling going into the playoffs. So that could be a really nice stretch of football for them. If they can get through that first stretch not being 1-6, which is actually on the board possible because of just how tough that is. At least you get Kansas City, Seattle, and the Rams all at home, which is helpful.
I'm concerned about our defense, like a little bit. Like there's talent there, but like I just wonder like how it's going to look, especially because I don't think Travis Hunter is going to play a lot of defensive snaps. I think our offense, like I'm kind of expecting our offense to be a top 8 unit. Just overall production. Like I think especially like we came out, we had BTJ at X. Travis Hunter was in the slot, and then De'Ami Brown was outside, and then Parker Washington came in a little bit, and then 3-back rotation with ETN, Tank Bigsby, and Bayshaw Tootin. Like, I think if Trevor Lawrence puts it all together, like I feel like it could be a really good team. I don't know about winning the AFC South because I do think Houston's going to be a tough out with Nick Caley at OC coming from McVay's coaching tree. But I feel like 9-8, 10-7, like that might be good for a wild card spot.
Yeah, 100%. Timmy,
my team that I came to mind with was the Jags. I mean, everything like they're set up this year to go from
podcast.
They weren't worst. They were third in their division last year, but they should win their division this year. Like that should be how it is. Like Liam Cohen is a good coach. He should turn this offense around. And if the defense is just manageable, then they're at least dead even with the Texans. So they really should climb. We should see it all year. Keenan did point out that schedule is kind of tough, but I still think that's fine. I think they can get there. Another team that I think is actually the Titans.
Ooh.
They play the same division, right? So even if they split with a couple of their division opponents, I think the offense will be better with Cam Ward than anything last year, and they were in a lot of games last year. So I still like the defense. They've got a good O-line. I think they can run the football. Play slow, play defense, let Cam Ward not make mistakes. I think they could win 7 or 8 games at the most, but that's a big step up from where they were last year. So they would be technically one of the bigger risers in the year.
Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming the inverse would be
the inverse is just
fall?
what teams that were good last year, playoff teams, aren't going to be good this year.
I'm gonna save one of the obvious ones. Actually, no, I'm just gonna go with that team. The Minnesota Vikings would be your team that like could fall. I mean, obviously they have a lot of talent, but you go from having Sam Darnold to, regardless of Sam Darnold being a guy who was unproven at that point, he was still a veteran quarterback in the league, played under a lot of different offenses, seen a lot of different things, and it was kind of a perfect storm of not really a great schedule plus having all your weapons and being healthy and all that good stuff. And now you're playing a tougher schedule. The division's gotten even tougher because Green Bay has added some pieces. Chicago should be better, and Detroit is still Detroit. So your division's arguably the toughest in football. I don't know exactly what their schedule looks like this year for who they play in the AFC, but can't imagine it's going to, I don't think they play the South, so I can't imagine it's going to be anything that's super easy. So I think that the Vikings are most is the easy option for it, to be honest with you, kind of just how it is, especially when you win 14 games. If you go down to 9, you slip a lot. So, but I do think the Vikings are very, very live to miss the playoffs, even though they do have a capability of making the playoffs. It just really depends on how good JJ McCarthy can be in year 2, but in year 1 starting.
Yeah, no doubt. Obviously. Go ahead, Brandon.
No, go ahead. Okay. I was going to say the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
I mean, 10-7, so like I don't know if you really want to call it like a big decline, but like I think 6-10 could be on the table. I just don't like their offensive line's kind of poor, and they can never stay healthy. Sam Darnold, like, I don't know what he's going to be outside of a Kevin O'Connell offense. Like, Kevin O'Connell can make any quarterback work. I'm convinced of it. So, like, you go to that offense, and you have a washed Cooper Kupp, who was extremely, extremely bad last year metric-wise, getting open against man and zone. And then Jackson Smith and Jigba, who I think is a great receiver, but he played primarily in the slot. He's going to be an outside receiver this year.
Is he like, and that's the thing? Is he a number 1? It works well when you're next to DK. Are you a 1? Yeah. That's going to be interesting to see.
And plus 2, he's going inside to being what I'm presuming is the X receiver outside. So like now you're going,
especially with Kupp coming in, he cannot play outside anymore. So
yeah. So and then like you're starting a second round tight end, a rookie tight end, Elijah Arroyo. Like the defense have talent, but like they haven't been able to put it together. So like I would be surprised if they would, especially with that division. Like I think the Rams. Like I mean, you got to deal with the Rams. Like I think the Niners
bounce back.
Yeah, are going to be good again this year.
Cardinals are a wild card.
Yeah. It's like I think if you go from 10-7 to 6-10, like I think it's possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely could be something like that.
Fun fact about Tim: when I met him, I think about 3 years ago now, he refused to say Jackson Smith and Jigba. So progress.
He said I wasn't going to get canceled. We were at a very cancel-y time in our country, so I wasn't risking anything.
Right, like if the
Jackson Smith, Nigeria,
but
Nicaragua.
Yeah. But yeah, you got to agree with both the Vikings and the Seahawks. I actually forgot the Seahawks made the playoffs. Did they make the playoffs for real?
They missed it barely.
They tied with the Rams at 10-7, but the tiebreaker went to the Rams.
That's right. You know what? Shit. Listen, while we're there, the Rams, I'm not saying they will slide, but the Rams would be on my watch. Who the hell? You know what? The Lions, low-key, are on my watch, too. I'm just very worried for them in that division. Like, I'm actually in Detroit right now as we speak, but Listen, when you come to Detroit, like it's very clear like how much of a community this is. It feels very much more like I'd almost compare it to like a small country. That's how much pride Detroit has in Detroit. So they don't play about their Lions like at all. Like Lions fans, Bills fans, Eagles fans, like they're a different breed, right? That being said, I'm kind of worried about the Lions. I don't think necessarily like they're gonna have a like 6-11 season or something like that, but like the way their division is, how tough their division is, I could see them missing the boat if they got a few injuries, much like last year. You know, you could also say, hey, they're gonna get healthy on defense, they should be good to go. But a lot of that is gonna depend on the Bears and the Vikings. So I know I'm kind of going all over the place here with a couple teams, but I honestly though the Rams are the one that's probably more at risk, especially with Stafford already starting off injured. That's got to be worrying, and I know that was a lot of people sleeper. I mean, shit, Brandon, I think that's what caused our what was it, our take purchase? Because you said you were talking Super Bowl in February about the Rams,
and I'm still riding with them, and
they still could be. That's the thing. As long as Stafford's healthy, like, it could happen.
With my finger on the trick.
As a fellow back patient, a brother with back injuries, I'm not worried.
Right, true, yeah, true. I mean, no one would know more than you, right?
The sky is the limit. The sky is the limit.
The Rams seem very feast or famine, though. And I would throw the Vikings in there, too, for exactly what Keenan said. Like, I still, like, to this day, I really, truly think they should have franchised Sam Darnold and kept both him and McCarthy. Because if this goes bad with McCarthy, it's going to set you back. Like, that you traded for that spot in the first round. He's got to be good, and this dude hasn't played in 2 years straight up. Like, when was the last actual snap he took in, like, a real game? Like, what was the date?
I was about to say national championship game against Michael Penix.
So the latest college football he could have played that year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been a long time since he's had any real action, and we all know college and NFL, the speed of the game is, 10 times different. So, I don't know. I kind of feel like the Vikings fucked it up. But again, JJ could be fine. And, honestly, if he's serviceable with that offense and that defense, you could be okay. But, 14 wins, I don't know. I know they had an easier schedule last year, but I would have kept Darnold, honestly. And I would have, wrote it out with both of them.
Yeah, they've got, we're going to know early on, too, because they have a real kind of tough, like they start out at Chicago, which is a tough division game. It's Atlanta, Cincy, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, but then you got to bye, and then after the bye, yes, I can't see which ones they are. But but after the bye, they see Philly, then the Chargers, then the Lions, then the Ravens, then the Bears, then the Packers. Golly,
that's tough.
Golly.
What do you do? General question. I know we're on the topic of like sliding teams, but what would you do? Let's say they get off to like I don't know, first 10 games are 3-7, and then it doesn't get much better from there. What do you actually do with JJ McCarthy? Obviously, you play it out, but like, what if he like legitimately looks bad?
You have to see where your pick is because this is a quarterback draft, and you could definitely move off of McCarthy after 1 year, kind of Josh Rosen situation. Maybe, people will probably have more faith in McCarthy than Rosen, but like whatever pick you have, you do a Josh Rosen kind of thing, and then you go draft another guy and try it again. That's kind of what you kind of have to do, or you ride with him and you have faith in him. But like that, and that will be a very big question in the offseason, because if you go from 14-3 to 5-12, which is possible, you go to 5-12, it's like, okay, if JJ, it was like, 1, how good was Sam? 2, should you have kept Sam? And 3, now that we have maybe anywhere between the 1st and the 6th pick in the draft, maybe we don't get Arch, but we get one of these other guys. So,
Kate Klubnik, somebody like that.
Yeah,
Garrett Nussmeier.
Mm-hmm. Some people. Timmy, what was your team?
I actually have a couple here. For playoff teams, I think the Houston Texans have a good chance at falling really bad. They also have a very bad offensive line. They had a bad offensive line last year, and they traded away their best line. So if anything, it's going to be worse this year.
They
don't love
just
this.
saw wind of the gas mask, so they didn't know what else to do. They're like, wait a second. He had draft problems. He had draft day problems. Let's get him out of here. You don't like that in Houston.
Yeah, they're just like, what, 15 years late to the moment. Or
They're just super late to the party, but they finally saw the gas mask, and they're like, we don't condone that down here in Houston. We've got to get him out of here.
It's not what we do.
No, this is not what we do. Absolutely not.
I think the Joe Mixon news scares me. I think we could have a very similar situation to CMC last year where, he's going to be good to go is all we're going to hear through camp. And then we get to week 1 and he is not ready to go. He can't do it. Nico Collins, a guy that we've also always seen kind of be injury prone. I think he missed like 6 straight games last year. Yep. So hopefully he is healthy all year long. I'd love to see that, but it could very well happen to where it just does not go right for them.
This will show a lot for CJ if they do.
Yeah, for sure.
Because with no Tank Dell, Nico being in and out, Joe Mixon not being there, and he was really like their lead success last year. If you can,
and he does not run either, so it would be all on his shoulders to make it. Yeah,
I literally don't. I don't get why he doesn't. We saw it 2 years ago in 3 years ago in the playoff game, like the college football playoff game.
No, he's athletic. He could run.
He can run. Like, he can run. Like, I just don't get why he
doesn't not to for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
a Joe Burrow situation where they just choose not to run even though they are athletic enough to go.
I was going to say, because Burrow, I know, is always like, it's really just like seems like a pocket quarterback. But we also saw this guy run for like a 45-yard touchdown this year. It's like, he can actually like move.
Against
like,
my Giants.
Against their Giants. And then you saw him flexing in the end zone. Like, looked like Kobe in 96 after the dunk contest. Yeah, I'm him.
My other team that I think they weren't a playoff team last year, but I actually think they have potential to be the worst team in football is the Miami Dolphins this year. I think this defense is going to be terrible. I think they're not going to have much of a pass rush. They have Bradley Chubb, and that's kind of it. They have drafted a couple pieces there, so maybe they'll have an okay line, but the secondary, I think they're going to be the worst pass defense in the league this year. That's going to be my take. So every team's going to pass on them. Exactly. Like, they're signing guys off the street. All these guys are just like new because all their actual starters are getting hurt with potentially season-ending injuries. So I think Tua is not the QB to lead them to a Super Bowl. So I don't think when you throw this in his face, it's not going to go very well. So that's my take. Is I think the Dolphins will regress tremendously, potentially have a top 3 pick in the league this year.
Yeah, if they have the 1 pick, you got to take Arch, right?
Like, if he declares, if not, I'd trade it.
Yeah, I was gonna say sorry, before you go, Kyle, real quick, I just wanted to say because thinking about it, Tua to me would be kind of like the lesser version of Jared Goff, where like Jared Goff, if you give him everything, he can take your team to being like a Super Bowl contender. Like, obviously he went to the Super Bowl with the Rams, they lost, and then he got to the NFC Championship game, but like he's like a lesser version of that. So like if you don't have everything around Tua, to me, it's like but yeah, go on, Kyle, what we were saying.
First of all, we got to get Tua one of those I forget what the big ass concussion proof helmets are. We got to get
Guardian caps.
Yeah, he needs one of those. He refuses to wear them, but he needs one of those.
He declined. He said, "Nah, not my style.
I'm a man.
I like just
I don't
getting
need to protect myself. I'm a man.
He needs one of
those
those inflatable tubes that when they fall down, it expands and makes him like concussion proof. Is what he needs. Because that's his problem. He's not getting helmet to helmet. He's getting hit and then slamming his head on the turf every time. That's the problem.
Remember, he said he was taking judo classes to learn how to fall a couple seasons ago, and I don't think you can simulate that, in a full NFL game. Even though that is a real thing. But
just put a life jacket on him and call it good. We'll be fine.
Life jacket, I love it. Tim, fair to say, what was it? 2 years ago. 2 years ago, Matt Canada was on your hate list, right? And then he ends up getting fired. Last year was Doug Peterson in the Jaguars. He ends up getting fired. And this year it seems like it's Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins. So I like that you're keeping the trend alive.
3 for 3? 3
Let's
for
see.
3? I think.
Oh, he's gonna be 3 for 3. Mike McDaniel's gonna be gone before Thanksgiving, so it's fine.
They don't call me Tim Stradamus for nothing.
Stradamus.
Stradamus.
Dope. All right, Kyle, do you have another little question here?
Let me see. Let me go into the archive.
Going to them deletes.
That's crazy.
What did I have to get rid of here? Let me check. Oh, right there. That's my file.
That's my file. There's my thumb
A
drive.
couple of these we kind of already answered in a way. I'm going to ask y'all
Yeah.
this. Who is one team who it's like, get them the hell off my TV? I don't even want to see them. I don't want to watch them in any way. Like, I'd rather not watch football than watch this team.
We've talked about a lot of Lil Wayne before and during. Where is he from? We need to get them off the
Holland.
screen. I want nothing, and I mean
Wow.
nothing to do with the Saints. I don't need aw shucks on my screen. Get them off. They're not getting drafted in fantasy. I don't care. Nope, there's not a player. I am not watching them. I'm sorry. Aw shucks is not doing it for me. Can't do it.
What about old
Yeah.
Rattler man?
Oh God, no rattlesnake. No, we got all shucks. There's a rattlesnake in our quarterback room. Not happening for me. Get him off my screen. Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
Saints is a good answer. Like you said, they're just devoid of talent at this point. Like they're even like, I've heard rumors of them cutting Taysom Hill this year, which is like their second best player, third best player behind Kamara and Olave. So that would be crazy.
I'm Olave. I'm asking for a trade. Get me out.
Actually,
of
though,
yeah.
he needs a QB to stop throwing him murder balls. That's what he needs.
I know they've here's a slant at chest level across the middle. Actually, no, here's this high slant across the middle. Hopefully, you can survive it.
Exactly.
Into a strong safety. Like,
Into Brian Branch. Sure.
Yeah, it makes no sense. For me, I got two teams. The Indianapolis Colts will probably be a bad team. One of my bold takes was I think that they would have the number one pick this coming year. I could see them being a very bad team, and if that is the case, we probably see a mixture of Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones, and I've already seen enough Daniel Jones in my life, so just let's back off of the Colts for me. And then the Cleveland Browns, man. Yeah, the defense is probably still going to be all right, still going to be generating a lot of pressure, and they do have a good secondary. But I think this offense is going to be very, very bad this year. The amount of times I've had this conversation with so many people. They claim that they want Joe Flacco to be the starting QB, but all I remember last year from Joe Flacco was terrible football and him not being able to throw the ball more than like 30 yards downfield. So why would you want that?
Fantasy purposes.
I don't think they have a much better option. Like they should probably just put Shador in and sell some tickets, call it a year, because
the Browns have been the second most talked about team this offseason behind Dallas, because Dallas is always going to be the most talked about team every offseason. But the Browns have been talked about like it was Jim Brown's Browns.
Yeah.
They've been really talked about.
It's going to be another bad season for them, even if Shador is like good, I think. So those are the two teams, Colts and Browns. I just don't want to watch many of their games.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Saints. Like, I feel bad for Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave. Like, I really do. Like, they're two great players that just like get them out of New Orleans. Like, please. Like, I think that's why Tyrann Mathieu walked away, because he was just like, yeah, I'm not playing for this dumpster fire of a team. Like, I'd be surprised if they got 5 wins this year. Like, I would. Like, I'd have to pick my jaw up off the floor if they had 5 wins this year.
Oh, I'll be surprised if they get 3. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Like, they are horrible. Like, Tyler Shuck, like the offensive line is kind of like decent, I reckon. Like, Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave, like
they have 4 first-round picks on that line. It's actually crazy. They've invested all in the offensive line.
like-
Nowhere else.
And
on
yet,
the-
like metric wise, they're not even that great.
yeah, it really
like-
isn't. It's a high ceiling, but they haven't played that well together. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you look
I
at their
would-
roster and it doesn't even like there's some players that you see and it's like, okay, like Cam Jordan, like obviously he can still play, but he is super old. Chase Young is not what we wanted him to be out of college, but he's still good. Like he's fine. But there's just no quarter. Like there's Spencer Rattler, Tyler Sutton. Who's this Jake Hayner?
Oh,
Who-
he's bad.
who
He's
is
bad.
that?
He
A
might be
fourth
worse
round
than-
pick in 2023 out of Fresno State.
Yeah.
Let me
Who
show you
is
who
this?
Jake Hayner is
He
real
had some
quick.
bad games last year.
Who
Pretty
is
terrible.
this guy?
I
Like,
love with
what
backup
do you?
quarterbacks when you can tell just by the name how ass they are. You know what I? That's my
That's
favorite.
Jake Hayner for anybody that's curious.
Yeah, look at yeah.
I mean,
he's-
that tells you everything you need to
He
know.
look. He's
That looks like a
6'1",
stock photo.
200. Is he a punter?
Yeah, it looks
Get
like
him off
some
Bro,
my-
look at
Blow him out
look at how zesty Buddy looks.
Oh
Like,
my
that looks like one of the New Orleans Saints in that
Jake?
Kevin James movie when he was supposed to be Sean Payton. That looks like one of those New Orleans.
Like, that alone at QB is already we're not getting more than 5 wins.
bro, like you
that
have
bad.
a quarterback posing like he's
That's not a real.
He's on
quarterback.
Love
Like a-
Island. Like, what are we doing?
a female
That's-
Instagram model.
that is the Love Island, like the 9th person that comes into the place, and you're like, oh, okay, we're here. Like, what are we doing? It's ridiculous. No, it's truly ridiculous. The Saints are going to be so bad. But Kyle, did you have before I interrupted Brandon? If you have any more, please.
Oh, yeah,
go
I think
on.
Brandon had
Kyle,
more
who
to
is
say.
your team?
I was gonna say the Browns. I agree with Timmy. The Browns. The only reason that I'm gonna watch the Browns is for fantasy purposes, strictly for David Njoku and maybe like the running backs, because Joe Flacco was terrible, but for fantasy purposes, he was pretty good last year. David Njoku was like a
He'll
top
throw
5
that
fantasy.
thing to Judy and Njoku. So, like, you might be
Yeah.
able to.
he was
should-
a Colt last year. 2 years ago was the year that he was great.
It was too.
With
Yeah.
Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why everybody says, "Oh, we should start Joe Flacco because last time he was a Brown, he was good." But yeah, that was 24 months ago that he was a Brown. That was longer than 24 months ago. So
And this is a different 24 months than like 24 months for
this
Josh
man is
Allen,
what,
where
like
he's
56 years old?
Yeah,
How
I
old
was
is
just-
Joe?
yeah, like let's just like if we're gonna do
At
that,
least.
why don't we just bring back Jameis? Like,
Honestly,
They
yeah.
got-
Actually, Jameis should be there.
Yeah, he should be. They got older Jameis though and Joe Flacco. Like I kind of love it, honestly. Honestly, I'm
I was
kind of
just
worried about the Saints, like because everyone's gonna pick the Saints to be the worst team this year, reasonably so. But you guys just outlined like they got a lot of vet talent. I'm kind of worried they're gonna like be in these games and maybe even like win a few games that like we're all gonna be like, yeah, let's throw the Saints in a parlay. Like they're gonna get their ass kicked, and then lo and behold, they like beat the Falcons one night.
No,
kind of
no,
thing.
no.
I can just see it happening with their
you're
vet
right,
talent.
they could be a spoiler team.
Yeah, like I don't think they go over 5 wins at all, but I do think they'll be in a lot of these games just off of vet talent. And if what's his name? What's their head coach? OC there?
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, yeah. If he's actually a good coach, like we've seen it. We've seen a lot of guys take rosters that we all think is junk and they just scheme it the right way. They smoke and mirrors the right way, and lo and behold, they got 7 wins. And you're like, well, how the fuck did this happen? My team is the Titans, though.
Yeah.
I think if it's gonna go bad, it's gonna go real bad for them. We heard everyone say like, yeah, Cam Ward and Shador, when people thought Shador was going in the first round, like they would be like the 5th and 6th quarterbacks taken if they were taken in the 24 draft. Which I mean, Cam Ward seems to look the part. Like he sounds like a leader. My questions are really with the head coach, though. It's Brian Callahan, right? I just have no opinion on it after one season whatsoever. Like it just seemed questionable. And last year they at least had Will the Thrill at quarterback. Like he was doing chest passes, he was doing no looks. Like you just never knew what was going to happen with Will Levis and his garbage taste palette. Now you got Cam Ward, who again, he might be just better. Like he might just not be turning the ball over, but I think it could lead to some like boring football games. I just don't really know what to make of the Titans out of anybody,
Yeah.
which is again with the Saints, I could see them at least having entertaining games. the Browns I'm going to talk about in a sec with my next question. But yeah, I could picture the Titans just being a really boring team. Or, I mean, Cam could be that dude, and maybe they are just entertaining. But I could see it being the reverse of that for sure.
Fair. I was like, Cam threw a bunch of touchdowns in college, so hopefully, like, he's just fine to air it out. I mean, you got Calvin, you got Tyler Lockett, you got Van Jefferson. So let's hope. But
Good rookie receivers too.
Yeah, like they've got a team to where, Kyle, you're right. They're either going to surprise people and maybe even be like almost above 500 and be like, oh, you weren't expecting this at all, or they could just be terrible. And it'll be interesting if like they got the one pick because like you just drafted Cam Ward 1. Like, would you like? And Arch
Right?
says, yeah, I'm coming out. Like, what would you do? Like, because obviously Cam is a guy who you have in the offense, but at the same time you've got this you have the Manning lineage coming out. You're like, wait a second, what do I do? Like that would be really interesting. I'd actually kind of like to see what the Titans would do there, because you could trade Cam Ward for something. People would actually take that, like take a chance.
Depends how his rookie year goes, I think.
Yeah, if he actually looks competent, then yeah. But
it's
if he
really
doesn't
Brian
look competent
Callahan to
at
me
all,
because he's just so nondescript to me. He's just like the most nondescript coach. Like usually coming out of your first year, you're like, all right, this guy, like he's already on the hot seat, which I feel like Callahan kind of is, especially if it's just another bad season. But like, I don't know. I feel like nobody had really many opinions on him either way, other than he let Will Levis hang around too much, and Will Levis lost him some games. Like you can say they were competitive, but I don't know. I just really
he's
have no
on the
opinion.
hot seat because it was just like out in the sun all day. Like he's not like it wasn't like someone turned it hot or anything. It's just like hot because like it was outside. So like no one cared about the chair, but they like sat in. It's like you're probably gonna get rid of you, but like we didn't really do anything to get it hot. It's just like it was already hot. So it's like okay.
The Limma of NFL coaches, Keenan.
Absolutely. Shout out. But absolutely you were literally come and go and you're like, all right, I guess there were no one in history would care about the lineage there, but that's fine. Whatever. All right. We can move on. What's your Browns semi-question, whatever it is?
So my next question, the inverse of that would be, who is your must-watch team? Whoever wants to take that question.
If I can go, unless anyone has their...
I got mine already, but if you want to go, you can go.
No, you go, Brandon. I'll let you go. I've been going first. You go.
Okay. My must-watch team is the Atlanta Falcons. My second team, if I had one, I'm actually, a little fun fact for y'all, I got my Kyle Pitts jersey already. As we already know, that's my favorite player in the league. Don't at me. I don't need to explain myself. He's a Gator. I got a Michael Penix jersey on the way. Okay. We're gonna be rotating every other weekend. I got my Trevor and my BTJ jersey. I got my Pitts and my Penix jersey. All right.
Brent, I gotta ask.
I'll be rotating.
Because you're a Jacksonville native, so I'm assuming a lot of your friends are like big Jaguars fans. How do they feel about like you having an NFC team in close proximity? Atlanta's not too far from you.
I mean, Atlanta's like my second home. Like I spent a lot of time there, so like honestly, like a lot of my friends that are Jaguar fans, like they don't really care. Like
Okay.
I'm honestly like I hate to say it, but I'm kind of like a fair weather Jags fan. Like if they're bad, like it's very easy for me to check out.
I respect.
I did not expect this admission on here. I did not expect this.
I love it.
I don't know.
And mainly,
Brent,
like,
I've
I don't mean to get
had
on a
some
little
conversations with you on Sundays where you do not seem very fair weather fanish. Where you're like, "Fuck this franchise. I'm done with this franchise." Like that's true fans talking.
Not yet.
Franchise.
Yeah, I don't mean to get on a little rant, but the biggest thing, and I'm sorry to the city of Jacksonville, I hate Jaguar fans. They are insufferable to me. Like, I can't stand them. Like, it's one of the most toxic fan bases. Like, it's worse than Georgia. It's worse than Florida State. Like, any college team, it's worse than that. But yeah, so, you know, if anybody's got a problem with it, just turn your head, look the other way. But yeah, the Falcons. I love Michael Penix. I think they got a lot of talent around them. They got Bijan, Tyler Algier, if you want to throw him out there. Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Ray McLeod. The GOAT, Kyle Pitts himself. Good defense. What should be a good
Lowercase.
defense. Jalen Walker, James Pierce, AJ Terrell, Jesse Bates. They got a lot of dogs on defense too. So I would be surprised I think if Penix is as good as what I think he could be, and what a lot of people think so too. If you get Washington Penix, I think 12 wins. I think a playoff spot. I would be surprised if it was them and Tampa Bay kind of duking it out for the division there.
Okay.
Yeah. Go
Okay,
Birds. Dirty Birds, baby.
Timmy, you got one? Comes to your head?
I mean, the one that's really coming to my head is the undefeated Baltimore Ravens. I think they're just going to be winning a lot of games this year. So definitely, but that's kind of like a layup because, well, that was my bold take, remember? It's my undefeated season.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
The
we'll
one
see what
that
his real predictions are, but go on.
The one that's interesting for me, I think, is Los Angeles. I think the Chargers could be very, very good this year. They were already a much improved team last year. I think they could take another step. I do like Keenan Allen signing there. I think that takes a little bit of pressure off of Ladd. And I'm blanking on the wide receiver, Trey Harris, that they took in the second round. It's a very nice
from
talent. Yep. And this is Harbaugh. He's going to do his thing. I think with Hampton, minus Najee, because he's, blown up or whatever, but I think they're going to run the football very well, and I think they're going to be an extremely efficient offense. So I think they're going to be fun to watch.
The eye patch.
Yeah, he's going to be out there like a pirate. Might as well get him a damn peg leg. He'd probably be a little bit faster.
Arr, matey.
I'm Patchy the Pirate.
I want to see that on the injury report too. Najee Harris. Oh, that's his injury.
Eye patch.
He's got the scurvy.
Fruit prevents scurvy, the Flying Dutchman. Anyways, Timmy, do you have any more before I've got two teams, and obviously a team like the Bengals are going to be super high flying, but though I'm staying away from the Bengals, even though I'm going to be obviously really excited and fun to watch. I got two teams. One's the Washington Commanders. The other one's the Houston Texans. Reason being is both of their quarterbacks. I'm interested to see what CJ Stroud can kind of do with a little less. Timmy highlighted kind of what that team could look like and how they could possibly fall back. All of you guys feel like the Jags have potential to actually go and usurp them in the division. I'm interested to see with CJ Stroud obviously having one of the greatest rookie seasons we'd seen. Then obviously that got upstaged by Jaden Daniels last year. Him in this year 3 kind of had the sophomore slump, but still even got to the playoffs and still got a playoff win. What can he do in his third year now that he's kind of fully seen the league and seen almost all aspects of the league? And it's obviously except for a few wrinkles that people add every year. And then is Jaden Daniels a one-hit wonder kind of guy, or is he can this everything be replicable? Can he go out there and still showcase how good he is? Because they're going to need a little bit more from him this year. Obviously, Terry McLaurin, we still don't exactly know what's going on with him. We assume that he's going to probably be back, but you don't fully 100% know. You have Deebo Samuel there, Brian Robinson, and Eckler in the backfield, so you have a lot of the pieces returning, but the NFC has gotten a bit stronger, so for you to get back to the NFC Championship game is not going to be easy. We know the North is very good. The South has a couple teams, especially if Brandon's right about the Falcons. The South has a couple teams that you could look at. The Panthers are nothing to sneeze at either. And then you've got the East, what the Cowboys could probably be a little bit better this year. The West, you've got multiple teams. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm really excited to see what Jaden Daniels and CJ Stroud do. So the Texans and the Commanders are the two teams that I'm most excited to see, where I'm going to be turning on let's see how good these guys really are.
Facts. I got to say, Brandon unloading the clip on the Jaguars is already a top 10 NFL WBP moment for me. I was not expecting him to unload the clip on Jags fans, so thank you for that, Brandon. I don't know if I asked the question last year, but I remember some form of fashion it came up that I said the AFC North was on my must watch, and that's not going to change.
Yeah.
The Raiders are still great. The Bengals are going to be high flying, like Keenan said. The
fact
Steelers
that they had
are
that on
number
Christmas is crazy. Sorry,
true,
the
yes.
Bengals
gonna be a
Bengals
great
Ravens
Christmas
on
game.
Christmas is insane. But go on.
Lions Vikings.
I thought
too.
I thought they
Yes.
were Thanksgiving. I thought it was Thanksgiving. It's Christmas.
Wait, sorry, I said Christmas. I meant Thanksgiving. My bad. I said Thanksgiving.
You probably do got a
I
crazy
meant-
one on too. I wouldn't be. I
probably
would be
got
surprised
crazy
if you
games
got
on
both on
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna look
my
up
bad.
real quick
Thanks.
while you're.
But Steelers are going to be number one with this Aaron Rodgers addition on top of the Jalen Ramsey trade. They're obviously in win now mode, and as we know, like it could go all the way bad with Aaron Rodgers. I just said it could go all the way bad in Tennessee. Like it could go all the way bad with Aaron Rodgers. I think he's 42. This is his age 42 season. Is that correct?
Yes, I think you'll be. I
think
think
so.
he's
So
going
I think he turned
before-
41 at the beginning of the season last year.
And I
Yeah,
think
I was gonna say, I
Tom,
think Aaron Rodgers' birthday is. Yeah, let me check real quick.
and I think Tom Brady is
You're
the
good.
only quarterback that age or older to start like any amount of games. Like it's literally just Brady and Rodgers. Rodgers this coming season, obviously. So Steelers, I'm going to be locked into every one of their games, whether they fall off, whether they're in it. I actually think they're going to be pretty competitive. But the Cleveland Browns, man, they're there for me too. Do they have 0 quarterbacks? Do they have 5 quarterbacks? They still got an explosive defense. Like, I'm all in on watching the Cleveland Browns because I think it's going to be a shit show for all the reasons you guys gave why they're not going to be on TV with Joe Flacco starting. This whole Shador business. Shador seems like he's Tim Tebow 2.0. I've never seen people pop off the way they were popping off about Shador going off in a fucking week 1 preseason game. I could not believe the way people were like acting like that was the regular season.
Oh, it was
I know-
insane.
Yeah, I've not seen it like that in quite some time. I was like, y'all got to be kidding me. And by the way, props to Shador for like thing against third stringers, but like, let's see it against some first stringers in a real NFL game. That being said, like the mix of Flacco,
Last
Shador,
time it was that important was like Lonzo. Like Lonzo's
Right?
preseason was very
it kind
important.
of does remind me
Wemby,
of Lonzo.
flat,
Lonzo
but like
Mobile.
it feels like Lonzo, right?
Kind of does.
Feels
It
like
kind of does. I
Lonzo.
didn't even think of that. Yeah, man, the Browns just with that shit show because they could have like honestly just brought back Jameis or went out and got some quarterback and been okay. Like they could have been a playoff team easily this year with the right quarterback. So I don't know what the hell they're actually doing, but I know it's going to be entertaining. I hope they trade for Jameis if Joe Flacco gets blown up at some point, which he very well could. He was stationary when he was in his prime, and he's definitely stationary at the age of 56. So
He's got
that
center
being said,
blocks on his feet.
yeah, for real. Joe Flacco, the God's going to win you some games, though. He's, for whatever reason, just going to surprise you and win some games before he gets blown up. But we got to get Jameis back there. But we probably won't because Shador will eventually get some games. But honestly, I feel like there's like 12 teams I could have put in this category. But the Steelers jump out, and then the Browns jump out for their chaos. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, you're definitely right. There are multiple teams that could have been in this category. And really, like they really are treating Shador like he was the number 1 overall pick in the draft, and Cam Ward's just really on the like. That's why that Callahan might have like another year on him just because of how the media. I mean, not that you only go by media coverage, but like obviously media scrutiny can kind of propel things within locker rooms and things, and you might not get much because Shador is going to be the conversation all year. So Cam Ward, he could be like, and he'll be like, yeah, Tennessee's fine. They'll figure it out.
He's the least
I
talked
gotta-
about number 1 pick.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Since Anthony Bennett, yeah. Since Anthony Bennett. Even Anthony Bennett had a little bit more conversation just because it was like, wow, he is terrible. You gotta be kidding me. This guy's bad.
Wasn't
For a number
He's
1 pick.
terrible.
Was it? I could be wrong here. Wasn't Luke Jokel? Was he a number 1 pick? The offensive lineman?
No, he was number 2.
Was he number
Eric
2?
Fisher was number 1.
Eric, yeah.
Okay, all right,
Oh,
that's
Eric
another.
Fisher was number 1 with the
Jags,
Chiefs.
Luke Jokel. Yeah, that was another guy. That was the top pick that really just got no run. he got no airtime.
My PTSD is starting to kick in after that one.
Luke Jokel. Oh, golly.
All right, so my question for y'all is Seesaw teams. Which teams do you believe can go either way? They got a high ceiling. They got a low floor. Like, how do you see it going? High risk, high reward teams type of thing. What teams are on your list?
I'll quickly go. I think that the Dallas Cowboys could be one of those teams. I know we don't like to talk about the Cowboys all that much, but they're one of those teams to me that could be like a 10-win team because Dak and the offense are moving well. Micah comes back. He's energized. He makes the defense kind of go. Obviously, maybe Jaden Blue. I think I like Jaden Blue actually as a back. Kind of a Texas guy, obviously, but like, so I think like the Cowboys could be an interesting team that gets 10 or 11 wins, but they also could be a dumpster fire that gets 5 wins, 4 wins. I kind of want them to get the number 1 overall pick because I think that hoopla would be insane. Oh my God. And let Arch come out. But like, let Arch come out, number 1 overall pick, $60 million Dak, $45 million Mike, or 42, huge pay CD, and you're like, we need to find someone to take him, or they're going to be like, you know what, we'll draft an offensive lineman, number 1 overall. We'll be fine.
Stephen A. Smith would be unbearable.
Oh my God. Let them be the worst team in the league. Oh my Lord. Life would be hilarious. So I actually am kind of hoping
on
for
the Cowboys.
I want to see that.
If we get a Manning on the Cowboys, it's going to be worse than LeBron on the Lakers with the coverage.
God. It would be like LeBron going to the Cowboys.
Skip Bayless would be insufferable. Skip Bayless would.
Skip would come back to TV. You would see Skip be like,
my point.
Hey, Stephen A., can I get back on First Take? Like, can I get back? Golly, FS1's had some outage, had some people cut. Like, hey, can we get back there? We'll figure it out. Golly. But yeah, the Cowboys are my team. I think they could be anything from the worst team in the league, honestly, because when it goes bad for the Cowboys, it truly goes bad. But I also could see them being a wild card team. So they really could be a seesaw to me.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you one. It kind of feels kind of a little wrong to pick them, but I could just see them being bad. It's the San Francisco 49ers, and my reasoning behind that is, and I hate to say it, but is injuries. Like the CMC, Juwan Jennings, like Ricky Pearsall. Obviously, Brandon Ayuk's going to be on the pup. Like, I think if they're all healthy, I think if they're all healthy, like I think it's a 12-13 win team. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they gear up for another deep playoff run. But if CMC goes down again, then like I think automatically that kind of already kind of dooms your offense at that point in time, because like you have Ricky Pearsall, like who's relatively unproven. Juwan Jennings is good, but like we've never really seen him in this capacity as a top 2 receiver. Obviously, Brandon Ayuk, you don't know what you're getting post-injury once he comes back from the pup. Like George Kittle's there, but like with injuries, like I feel like it could go from a 12-5 season to a 6-win season. Where like things just really go downhill and it really gets bad. Or it could be really good. San Fran from 2 years ago. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the divisional round and they're a 12-win team.
Yep.
True that.
That was actually going to be my team. I was going to take the 49ers. I agree with everything that Brandon just said. There's definitely a handful of teams that fit in this tier. Like, I think you could get this tier all the way up to like 10 or 11 teams. That could really go either way.
Most definitely.
For me, I think it's got to be the Bears. I think with Ben Johnson going there, and they have Caleb Williams, they have a lot of offensive talent. They take Loveland, they get, Roma Dunze last year. They still have DJ Moore. Not a fan of the running back room there, but everywhere else on that team, I'm liking it. I love that right after Johnson gets there, they immediately fix offensive line issues, or at least they take some shots on offensive linemen that are better than what they had. And the defense was already pretty good last year. So I think this team could be, at best, like a 12-win team. I think most people are going to predict them to be around a 9-10 win team, but I could see it going bad again. Maybe Ben Johnson isn't a good head coach. Maybe he's just a good offensive coordinator. And maybe we see similar mistakes from Caleb like we saw last year. Not all of that was on Eberflus. There was definitely a good amount that was on Caleb's shoulders last year. So I think that team is the most hit or miss this year. And I think most people are picking them to hit. So just being with like parity and everything, I think it's fair to say there's a good chance that they don't hit like everybody thinks. So,
Yep.
Tim, that was my team as well. I kind of outlined it already earlier with the Vikings and the Rams. Like those are two teams in general who I think could go either way. But the Bears were my next team for exactly what you said. And really, it's mainly Ben Johnson. We've seen it go badly with OCs who become head coaches. For whatever reason, it seems way worse when an OC goes bad than a DC. Like, we've seen it bad both ways. But for whatever reason, I don't know. It seems like when it's an offensive coordinator and it goes bad, it's real bad.
Yeah.
I'm almost sometimes more concerned about Caleb Williams, though. Like, it just – some of the things you hear out of training camp, it's like he's still making mistakes. You've probably seen that clip of him where he couldn't hit the target at practice last week.
Yeah, that was bad.
I just don't know. I figured after 17 games of Caleb Williams, I'd have a solid opinion on him, and I really don't. And I don't know. He does not seem like the most mature of quarterbacks or the most mature leaders, which I think Brandon alluded to him coming out. Like, that's why you thought he was going to be a bust. Like, he really doesn't seem like he relates in the way other quarterbacks do. Like, in the way we saw Joe Burrow, when he came out, he was mature. He really could relate to his teammates. It doesn't seem like Caleb has that quality. And if you don't have that quality early, it's never going to come. So, I don't know. They're a fascinating team for me because I almost feel like if they would have hired someone like maybe Mike Vrabel or a veteran coach, there's no reason why this team couldn't go to the Super Bowl if Caleb Williams got his head on straight, if he really is that dude. So, yeah, I don't know. They're a feast or famine.
Ben Johnson makes them the seesaw. Like, if getting
He really
someone like Vrabel, Pete Carroll, someone like that, you'd be like, well, their base is like 8. They could get 12, but their base is like 8. So you wouldn't feel like they're like too much of a seesaw. Obviously, there's always variance within every single team. Like the Chiefs could win 14 games or they could win 11. So like obviously there's variance everywhere, but they wouldn't feel like a seesaw to me. So I agree with that. 2 other teams to me, just I wanted to mention them. The Cardinals are the definition of the seesaw. Like they could literally be anything. And then the Steelers for the first time, one of the first times, because I actually think like
Definitely.
I feel like if they're gonna lose, like this is the year that Mike Tomlin, the undefeated or the no losing seasons thing, could go out the window, and it wouldn't be just an 8-9 season. It would be like we might be 6-11 kind of thing, or they could be 11-6 and competing for the division and getting into the playoffs as maybe a 5th, 6th seed kind of thing.
We'll get into this
on them.
more.
I
We'll
want
get
to
into
say
this
something.
more next week, Keenan. But I think the Cardinals almost have too much talent for them to be bad at all. Like, I think they're going to be at the worst middle of the pack. They're actually one of the tougher teams for me to evaluate going into the season. Like, when I'm just trying to make predictions, the Cardinals, I feel like, could sneakily get like 11 wins.
Yeah, I agree. And then I also just feel like somehow like Call of Duty comes out and Kyler's like, yeah, we're not here anymore. And they just get like 5
Double
wins.
XP weekend.
But Jimmy, what were you saying?
The Steelers, I know I've been very negative of them these last few years. I keep getting these visions of them like winning the Super Bowl this year. Like, it's such a weird take, and it's not in line with anything. It's not in line with anything that I've felt about the Steelers, but I just get this weird feeling of like Rodgers, like we said, he wasn't great last year, but he definitely wasn't bad. Statistically, he was still okay, middle of the pack, towards the top, not terrible like people think he was. Did they lose games because of Rodgers? Absolutely. Can Mike Tomlin maybe put them in a better situation to win games? Absolutely. So I just feel like it could work this year. I get weird visions, man. I'm not picking them, no doubt, but I'm the highest I've ever been on the Steelers this year, I think, which is weird.
Tim, I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question based off of that. All right.
Okay.
I don't want to step on Brandon's question, but the way the people feel about the Rams and Stafford's up there in age, if we flipped Stafford and Aaron Rodgers, or if we just took Stafford out the league and just put Aaron Rodgers on the Rams, how would y'all feel about that if that was the situation?
I think Stafford's a better quarterback than Rodgers. Like I don't think it's really close. I think if you swapped them out, I think I'd take probably 2 or 3 wins away from the Rams easily if Rodgers was their quarterback. Yeah, like I think Stafford, the ball that Stafford plays is just so much better, and I think he fits that offense. I feel like he's a perfect fit for that offense for McVay's system and what he wants to run.
So, how I feel about this is taking all healthy right now. I know Stafford, obviously, his back is a problem, but just say all healthy right now. I think the Rams are the favorite to win that division, though I may not pick them. I haven't made my pick for that division, honestly. I think the Rams right now are the favorite to win that division slightly over the 49ers. I think if Aaron Rodgers was there, the 49ers would be the favorite to win the division, in my opinion.
Interesting. I just feel like from what I've heard, like the discourse over the season, because I think a lot of people feel how we feel about the Steelers. Like it's either going to go all the way great or it's going to go all the way bad, right? Definition of a seesaw team. But I also feel like the way people talk about Stafford, who's been banged up, like back injuries are no joke, like Brandon was saying, right? I do feel like the way like people love McVay, I feel like if that was Rodgers and Stafford's situation, people would be evaluating Rodgers a bit differently. That's just my belief. But that's also the same with me. Like I have visions of like I think the Steelers are going to be competitive, but I worry about Rodgers in that division because it's such a hard-hitting, cold-weather division where I would feel, I've said this in the offseason, I feel like Rodgers, had he went to Las Vegas even, it would just work out better for him with the weather. So I think my opinion even would change over. Like I feel like that would be a more suitable situation, Rodgers and McVay's offense.
Could you imagine if you went to like Atlanta? I mean, obviously they weren't going to go there, but like Michael Penix, you're in the South, you're playing in the domes most of the time, kind of like when Brady went to Tampa. You would feel much more confident than, week 13, you're going to go see Cincy, then you're going to go see Myles Garrett, and then you're going to go see TJ Watt. It's one of the not TJ Watt, my bad. You're going to go see the Ravens. It's just one of those things where it's like, goodness gracious. Obviously, he played in Lambeau. It's not like he can't play in the cold or anything. He's been one of the best cold weather quarterbacks. It's just like, Tom Brady was the best cold weather quarterback, and even he was like at this point at 41, let me just get back down to Florida. Let me go to retirement.
South.
Let me get down there and play in the dome. that controlled temp. let me get enough of that controlled temp if I can. But Brandon, what was your question?
All right, so I'm curious. So my question is, if everything goes right, or maybe 9 out of 10 things go right, dark horse Super Bowl contenders. Teams that you feel like could just win it all if everything clicks.
I got mine, and I've been just kind of had this in my head, and I've had it here for a while. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think it's the Bucs. I think if the Bucs have everything, because I think if everything goes right, they win the division easy. Like if we're talking about everything going right, I think they win the division easy, and I think they could have their team that could be live for a 1 seed in the NFC just because of how difficult like the road for Philly might be, and they could get 13 wins. And like obviously we know the North is an extremely tough division, the West is a tough division, and if the Panthers don't pan out, the Falcons just are talented but can't put it together like they have been, and then the Saints, we don't believe in them at all. So that could be 6-0 in the division, and then they get 13 wins. They're the 1 seed, and then everything goes through Tampa. I think if everything worked perfectly, they're easily a dark horse to get to the Super Bowl, and I could fully see it with the way Baker's played great in the playoffs, top 10 quarterback he's been over the last couple of years. You get Emeka Egbuka to go along with, hopefully Godwin can come back and he's fine, along with Bucky Irving in the backfield, who I really like, and Mike Evans is still there. So I think overall, and they have a proven coach, so I think overall the Bucs would be that sleeper team for me.
It's a good pick. I actually would have probably went with Tampa. Obviously, I've said the Rams, but I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers.
Ooh.
I have just like Timmy over here, I have a weird vision, and that weird vision is that Matthew Golden is an absolute stud.
I love
My
that.
reasoning, I think like just physically, like he's so gifted, but like when they drafted him, I thought about it. Like you don't ever see Green Bay take wide receivers in the first round. Like this dude, like I don't know. I feel like because he's a first round receiver that like Green Bay just never selects one that he's going to be a superstar. Like I feel like it could be that missing piece. Like they should play Jaden Reed more and 11 personnel. He should be the second receiver on the field. Good offensive line, good rushing attack with Josh Jacobs, good defense. Like I don't necessarily know if they'd win the division because that's a tough division. But I think if they got to 12, 13 wins, like especially if Jordan Love has another good year, like I could see them being in the Super Bowl. Like I think they've got the talent for it.
They're also a team that with a coach like LaFleur, they can travel. Like we saw them almost go into San Fran and upset them after upsetting the Cowboys 2 years ago. So like I agree with that too. I think Matthew Golden's going to be really nice. And they're a team, if they get hot at the right time and they get the matchups, they can play a physical style, but they also can play a up and down style too. So really depends on the development of Jordan Love, but I like that one. Timmy or Kyle go next, one of the two.
I can go quickly on that. Matthew Golden is their fourth wide receiver too. I think there's two teams from the same division that can be dark horses here. I like Denver and I like the Chargers. I think Denver could potentially have the best defense in the league this year, and that might carry them into the playoffs for a run. We saw them have a good offense last year. Bo Nix definitely impressed everybody. Nobody would have expected that season out of him. That's a season that could have won Offensive Rookie of the Year in other years, without a doubt. And he just got outshined by Jaden Daniels. So I could definitely see the Broncos, if the defense gets a little bit better and he just plays as good as he did last year, I could see that being a real shot. And then the Chargers, they've always kind of been, with Harbaugh, they've been great, but they've been around a playoff team all throughout Herbert's career, and I think Harbaugh takes them there. So he just needs to bounce back and actually like play well in the playoffs, and then boom, they're a Super Bowl team.
I gotta say, all your answers are like perfect. Like those are like on the nose dark horse teams, right? Like especially Keenan's like Tampa is the very definition of it because they're so sound and well coached on both ends of the ball. I actually don't think they're really going to be affected by the loss of Liam Cohen because Baker seems to have such a good feel for that offense in general and the weapons that they have. And the defense wasn't great last year. They were banged up, but Bulls in general has done a pretty good job, at least having fundamentally sound defenses, causing turnovers at opportune times and such. The Packers, though they're a dark horse, I think they're one of these teams, like, I feel like you can make the case for them the last 2 years because of everything you guys said. LaFleur, Jordan Love is good enough. Jordan Love was banged up all of last year, too. Like, I don't know. The game I like to play with, like, in my head when I'm going through, like, Super Bowl contenders is like, all right, let's start with whoever the favorite is. Not necessarily what Vegas has, but, like, whoever you believe in your mind is the favorite. And then say, okay, if not them, then who, right? And that's why I'd always come back to like the Ravens and the Lions last year. Like I just could not get there with the Chiefs coming out of the AFC. Like it seemed like it was going to be either the Ravens or the Bills. And then I thought whoever won out of them was going to win it. And I feel like Green Bay is like in the 4 spot for that. Like I feel like if you're not going to pick either the Ravens, the Bills, the Chiefs, or whoever out of the NFC, the Green Bay Packers going to be on that short list. That being said, commend all your answers. Same thing there. Those top 3, the big 3 in the AFC, if it's not going to be them, I could see a world where it's the Houston Texans. I know we've kind of picked them as a seesaw team. I know we've picked them as a team that could fall, but we talked about it earlier. But if it goes right, they've got, if not a top 5 defense, the best defense in the league.
Yeah, they're nasty.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of, like, we'll talk about it next week. Like, I mean, me and Tim talked about it last year with Stroud. Like, it just seemed like he was going to regress, just being year 2, right? And I'm kind of there with Jaden Daniels as well. That being said, year 3, CJ Stroud, I expect him to make less mistakes. I expect him to really take a leadership role. And if he can just stay healthy, and that's the case, and his position players stay healthy, there's no reason why they couldn't take a leap with that defense and, you know, hypothetically a top 8 quarterback in CJ Stroud. And to what Tim said with the Chargers and Broncos, I cannot wait to see that whole 3-way battle. Everybody's on the Broncos. Like, that's everybody's dark horses seemingly this year. And I don't know. I definitely think they could take the Chiefs' mantle hypothetically. But I do think people are sleeping on the Chargers. Like, they definitely had a loss in talent. But like Tim said, like, Harbaugh's such a great coach. They should be able to take that leap. But it's truly a make or break year for Justin Herbert for me. Like, I said that about T-Law, I believe, last year. This is the year for Herbert. Like, at least win us one playoff game. Win us one playoff game, and then we can talk. Because if not, you can't be in the conversation with Burrow and Mahomes and all those guys. You can't even be on that second tier. You can't even be in that Jaden Daniels tier if you can't even get one playoff game with Harbaugh. And this will be his 6th or 7th year, I believe, for the Chargers. He's got to get at least one playoff win for us to talk.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I agree. I agree with all of that. I think there's a lot of great dark horse teams there, honestly, and I think I'm getting more and more excited to get into these predictions. As we go on, we'll have our QB. I'll have my QB top 32 list. That'll be coming out here soon. The NFL season's around the corner. We'll be having a division talk here soon, but
can't wait.
Unless anyone has any lasting points, I'll do it here for the Warner Brothas Podcast. So no, we're good. We'll be back. We'll be back here very soon, but Warner Brothas Podcast on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all at Warner Brothas Podcast. Appreciate all of you guys. This is super fun, and like every time we talk about this, we just know, and every time we talk and come back here for the pod, we just know we're a week closer to the NFL season starting, which is what I cannot wait for. But everybody, we appreciate all of you guys. We'll be talking to you guys very soon. We'll see you later.